to be muchzak or just ro'oi, and then to move on to Tosus on Kuf Chav Gimel Amud Beis. For better or for worse, we're going to need to start stepping on the accelerator because apparently the Israeli program is somewhat returning. Some Israeli students are going to be returning to the yeshiva, and the regular Shiur at some point might be reinstituted. And we're told that by Shavuos time, meant to be on Daf Kuf Chav Vav. So, being that we've been for a couple of weeks on Kuf Chav Gimel and Beis and just started Kuf Chav Dalet, I don't know if we'll be able to make it there. Although I guess if we do some skipping, then perhaps we will. Okay, Rabbi Wilson. So let's recap. So we have a discussion on, we have a Brisa in Kuf Chav Gimel and Beis that told us, Brisa tells us certain cases where the Bechor gets Bishnaim, and the Brisa over there said that the Bechor gets Bishnaim in Shevach Sheshevchu Nechasim La'achar Visas Avihem, and the Brisa gave as an example Par Muchkeres Muskeres Yadacherim O Shahaisoro Ba'afar V'Yalda, a cow that's rented out, a cow that was in pasture, and the cow gives birth. It says that the Bechor gets Bishnaim, and the Gemara established this to be true according to Rebbe. The Gemara Abdon Kuf Chav Dalet Amud Aleph quoted a brisa that said that this issue of whether the Bechor gets Bishnaim and the Shevach Sheshimchu Nechasim La'achim Yisavim is a subject of machlokas between Rebbe and Chachamim. According to Rebbe, Bechor gets Bishnaim. This according to Chachamim not. According to Chachamim, Bechor would get Bishnaim, that which the father was fully muchzak on. Both Rebbe and Chachamim, of course, agree that Bechor gets Bishnaim and that which the father was muchzak on and not on Ro'oi. This machlokas Rebbe and Chachamim is when there is Shevach Sheshivchu Nechasim La'achim Yisavim. The Nechasim improved on their own. If it was some property that the father owned just after the death of the father became more valuable, or there was some development and it's worth more, will the Bechor get Bishnaim? According to Rebbe, yes. According to Chachamim, no. And the Gemara indicated that this brisa of Muchkeres and Muskeres or Sharosa Ba'afar V'Yalda is authored by Rebbe. And the question arises then on the Rambam. The Rambam paskins like Chachamim. The Rambam indicates that there was some unripe fruit or some fruit that just started developing, and then it turns into a full developed fruit. The Rambam paskins like Chachamim. The Bechor does not get Bishnaim in that. So the question then becomes, why is the Rambam paskin that if the father left an animal and the cow, and then the cow gave birth, the Rambam says the Bechor does get Bishnaim. After all, the Rambam paskins like Chachamim. So why does he state he paskins like Chachamim respect to a fruit that was not developed and then develops? He says the Bechor doesn't get Bishnaim in that. So why does the Rambam say that the Rambam say in Perak Gimel Halacha Beis, I believe it is, the Bechor will get Bishnaim ba'u v'vlada, in the cow and in the vlad. That was the question that was asked on the Rambam. And furthermore, not only is the Rambam seemingly against the Gemara in the sense that the Rambam paskins halacha, which should only be true according to Rebbe, but also Misvara, the Rambam is difficult because after all, the Rambam, forget the Gemara, the Rambam does acknowledge that fruit that's not developed and then develops, the Bechor will not get Bishnaim. On the other hand, he says when the cow gives birth, the Bechor will get Bishnaim in that Sheva. So those are the difficulties with the Rambam. So we saw that the Magen Mishnah deals with this issue, and the Magen Mishnah says that it's true that the beginning of the Amud is against Rebbe, but is against the Rambam, but the continuation of the Amud will work out with the Rambam. What does that mean? Well, he says the following. He says that there were different stages in the Gemara. The Gemara did initially on the top of Kuf Chav Dalet Amud Aleph indicate that it's only according to Rebbe that the Bechor would get Bishnaim. In this case of Muchkeres and Muskeres Rosa Ba'afar V'Yalda, it's true the Gemara originally attributed this brisa to be going according to Rebbe, but that's only at that stage. Once Rav Papa comes along at the end of the Amud, and Rav Papa is Mechadesh at the end of the Amud, Rav Papa tells us in certain cases where even according to Chachamim, the Bechor is going to get Bishnaim. There's certain types of Shevach after the father died, the Bechor will get Bishnaim. such as if the land became worth more as a result of there being some storm which enriched the earth, or in the case of a tree that became thicker, Diklev Olim, the Bukhar will get Bishnaim. So Papa tells us certain cases the Bukhar will get Bishnaim in Mekon Chachamim. The Machlokas is not in all forms of Sheva, rather certain forms of Sheva, that even Mekon Chachamim, the Bukhar will get Bishnaim. So at that stage, once the Gemara is Mechadesh, that there are certain cases the Bukhar will get Bishnaim Mekon Chachamim, Rambam has a right to understand that the Rambam will in fact tell us that the case of where the cow gives birth, that is similar to, that's parallel to a tree becoming thicker, although that is Shevach, which takes place after the death of the father, but there's no major Shinoi taking place, and since there's no major Shinoi, the Rambam will say that the Bukhar will get Pishnayim. So the Gemara initially thought that the Bryce on Kof Chav Gimel Beis is only true according to Rabbi, but the Maskana will be true even according to Chachamim. Those that the Sma and I think the Bach, they just add a small knetch to this. They point out that the Gemara initially, when it said that this Bryce is going according to Rebbe, the Gemara didn't mean to say definitively that this Bryce is going to Rebbe. Rather, the Gemara was asking, the Gemara was probing, hey, Manu Rebbe, is this true, Dafka, according to Rebbe? And then the Gemara, Rav Papa at the end of Amud, in effect says, no, it's going to be true even according to Rabbanan. So even the Gemara itself that said this is according to Rebbe was just probing, should we say that this is true only according to Rebbe? The Gemara said, no, it's true even according to Chachamim. So the Maskana, even according to Chachamim, the Bukhar will get Bishnaim in the blood. Let's take a look at some of this inside. There's something that in the Mr. Host, David, if you could please David, I think you're the host, if you could give us a screen share or make me the host, either one. Thank you. Okay, so the Magid Mishnah, the Magid Mishnah that was Xeroxed, I'm sorry, that's not it. If anybody could, the Magid Mishnah that we Xeroxed on Thursday. It's okay, thank you. David might be able to do that. Thank you. Great. Okay. Okay. The Maggid Mishnah at the beginning, you might have seen, points out, as we mentioned, that the Ravid formulation of his problem with the Rambam is a bit funny. The Ravid, when he attacks the Rambam, he says, "Hey Rambam, why pass like Rabbi?" That's a funny way of posing the problem, because after all, the Rambam clearly didn't pass like Rabbi. The Rambam in Allah Dalit passed like Chamim. You should have asked why, if you pass like Chamim, did you say that the Bukhar gets Pishna in that blood? But Rabbeinu. The Adkan, first word in line is Rabbeinu. The Adkan, lo kimna, he writes in the Paraka Rebbe, alamikami da amra papa the ba'ara maska sirton diklav alam fil rabban modu. Initially, we didn't say that. Initially, we said the Bryce is according to a Rebbe, not like according to Rabbanan. But Aval Basar, in the middle of the first thick line, Aval Basar damra papa da fil rabbanan modu b'ship the mele below ishtani. Bryce in the para fil rabbanan asya. The shibcha the mele below ishtani. So that's Rabbeinu. Okay. let me point out something that's a little bit funny. Again, this is parenthetical, and thus, if you want to close your ears for a second, then feel free to do so. According to the Maggid Mishnah, then what's a little bit strange, although not crazy, is the following. The Brisa on Kuf Chav Gimel, we have two Brisas. The Brisa on Kuf Chav Gimel Mid Beis, our original Brisa. Then there's the Brisa of the Machlokas Rebbe Chachamim Kuf Chav Daled Amud Aleph. Our Gemara attributed the Brisa on Kuf Chav Gimel Beis to Rebbe, which the Maggid Mishnah tells us that was only on an initial stage. But the Maskana, that's not the case. So what's a little bit funny is the following. The Lashon that Bryce and Kuf Chav Gimel Amud Beis is B'chor Noto Pishnayim B'zor L'chaim Keva Mudashim V'shevach Sheshivchum L'chasam La'ach Misavihem. So there where the Bryce uses the Lashon of Shevach Sheshivchum L'chasam La'ach Misavihem, according to the Maggid Mishnah, the Maskana, there Shevach Sheshivchum L'chasam Misavihem is referring to type of shevach, which is not a dramatic change, type of shevach where Chachamim will agree. And on the other hand, in the Brisa of Kuf Chav Daled Amud Aleph, when it says on line 3 on Kuf Chav Daled that Ein B'chor Noto B'shnayim Shevach Sheshivchum L'chasam Misavihem, there we'll say, there we'll have to say it's referring to a different type of shevach. So the two Rises, when they use the Lashon of Shevach, Shevach, Chasam, Lachtim, Yavim, referring to different things according to the Maggid Mishnah. Okay, not the end of the world. Now, the Maggid Mishnah does add, Ala Shekosha Li. Ala Shekosha Li K'tas. Par V'yolda Damashma de Vlad, Ha'ishtani, Meikar Uba Mash de Vlad. Levi Kamer Sha'asa Shivli. In other words, it's a bit strange to say. That when the ubar is born, it's considered not to be a shinoi. That seems to be a shinoi. L'chora ein lecha shinoi gadol mizeh. So says the Maggid Mishnah, Ikal Meimar Shani ubar diyarach imahu v'avalei klo ishtani v'zeh tam tzarach iyun. V'kom v'kom kavaras rabbeinu kachi k'moshe k'sabti kafn early. He says, well, you have to say that a Vlad being born is not considered to be a shinoi. Why would it not be a shinoi? Well, it's just the ubar was there before and it's there after. Just beforehand, it was in a breakout room, or it didn't break out yet. Then it breaks out, and then the ubar comes out of the mother, but the ubar was there before. The Tzos points out the obvious, that certainly, according to this Maggid Mishnah, then what would emerge is that which Rambam says the B'chor gets Mishnayim in the Vlad is only if at the time when the father died, the cow was pregnant. If the cow wasn't pregnant yet at the time when the father died, then certainly the B'chor would not get Mishnayim, because certainly that would be a very significant Shina. Okay. I see the quality of the video. The video seems to be working more slowly than in general. Is the audio at least okay somewhat?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. In any case, I just want to comment on this phrase of the Maggid Mishnah. Maggid Mishnah wants to say that it's not a significant change, that which the ubar was born, to use the expression ubar yerech ima. That's a funny phrase. You know what? Maybe I'll leave off of that for a second. We'll come back to it in a bit. Let's just point out that the Tzos in Reish Ayin Ches points out, we won't take a look at this inside this moment. The Tzos in Reish Ayin Ches indicates, this was on Wednesday's sheet, I believe, points out that the Rambam in a certain sense is l'shitaso. Also elsewhere we find that the Rambam considers that which a calf is born to be an insignificant shinoi. Where do we find this? Well, we know that Allah says if one steals grain and makes it into bread, he needs to pay for that bread. He needs to pay for the grain, but doesn't need to give back the bread. Even though the Torah says, Vaishim is like Gazal, but that which we require the Ganav, the Gazlan to give back the original object, it's only if it didn't undergo a change. If it undergoes a change, then the Gazlan just pays. So thank you. So the Rambam in Hilchos Gneva, the Rambam tells us that if one steals a cow or steals a sheep, and the cow gives birth, the sheep gives birth, says the Rambam that the Ganav needs to give back also the sheep and also the baby. You don't say that that's a shinoi. That's Rambam indicates that also over there, the fact that there's a vlad that's born is not considered to be a shinoi. Maybe we'll take a look at that if it's not too much of a pain to look at that Rambam in Geneva. This is on Wednesday's sheet. Okay, maybe we'll hold on for that if we. Thanks. Okay. So says the Rambam here, Halacha Yud Aleph. Thank you. Haisa Gneva Biada Ganav. That's perfect. Haisa Gneva Biada Ganav Yishbicha Me'eleha. Yishbicha Me'eleha. Higon Kivsa Shiolda. Says the Rambam. Mishalim Osa Ves Gizose Ves Vladosea. The Ganav needs to give back the blood, implying that it's not called a shinur. Implying that's not called a shinur. So the Rambam is l'shitasa. The Rambam does indicate that if there was Yaish that took place, then the Ganav does keep the Geneva, does keep also the Ubar, but that is due to the fact, we won't look at it now, but the Rambam in Hilchos Zela points out that this is the Takana Drabanan, that even though there's no Shiroi, the Takana Drabanan to encourage people to do tshuva. And thus, even though there's no Shiroi, nevertheless, if there was Yesh took place, then under certain conditions, he could keep the Sheva. But what's important in Yanenu is the Rambam says, also inspect Hilchos Gnevan Zela, that a cow giving birth is not considered to be a shinur. So you have over here the Ktzel, so right, but Hissi, Machulei, Rambam Magid Kosav, Lanias Daiti, Nira da Rambam Litame, Rambam Shitaso, right, in Hilchos Gneva, the Mishav Osavas Vladosel. And also over there, the Ravid attacks Leda's Shinoi, but he says the Rambam is Shitaso. The Gemara has an expression in Avodah Zarah Mem Zayin. He has an expression that that meikara behema. Last one is meikara. Meikara behema bahashta behema. Dasha hi da'achida ba'apa. Just the door was closed in its face, meaning that's not considered to be a significant shino. Mavur deleda lo chashiv shinoi. Meikara behema bahashta behema. And he points out, as he said before, that when the cow only became pregnant after the death of the father, and certainly the Rambam would agree that that is a significant shino. Now, so I just want to summarize before we move on. So the Rambam seemed to pass like Rebbe said the Maggid Mishnah, no. Once the Gemara tells us in certain cases, i.e. cases where there's no major shinoi, that Rabbanim will agree to Rebbe the B'chol will get B'shnayim. So the Rambam's just fine. After all, the Rambam will assume that when the cow gives birth, that's not a major shino. points out the Ketsos that we find elsewhere the Rambam holds that a cow giving birth is not considered to be a major shinoi. I just want to point out, with respect to that expression the Maggid Mishnah uses, the Maggid Mishnah says that it's not significant children because after all, ubar yerach ima. Now that's a little bit of a funny expression. I don't know if he meant that. What do I mean? This expression ubar yerach ima you find throughout Shas in various sugyas. Normally what ubar yerach ima means is that the ubar is considered to be an extension of the parent, an extension of the mother, and not something independent. For example, let's say a person violates the avera of having relations with an animal, with a pregnant cow. So does that prohibit, so the cow itself is usher for a carbon. What about the uber? When the uber comes out, is that usher for a carbon? So the Gemara, if I'm not mistaken, says that this depends on whether uber yerachimo or uber lav yerachimo. If uber is yerachimo, then should the blood, do we say that the blood itself, that the uber itself was also nirba, was also, there was some avera done with the blood? The Gemara indicates if uber yerachimo, then was there an avera done with the blood? If uber is yerachimo, if uber is part of the mother, and was there an avera violated also with the uber?
No.
There must have been some bad connection from Baltimore. The Gemara indicates that if you say ubar yerachimo, then also if I'm not mistaken, ubar yerachimo, then hey, just like the foot of the mother it becomes usher, the mouth of the mother, also the ubar is part of the mother. Ubar is yerachimo. But if ubar lav yerachimo, then the ubar is something independent, something separate. That's normally the way ubar yerachimo is used. So over here, when the Maggid Mishnah says that, hey, the cow giving birth is not significant shinoi, was ubar yerachimo. Does he mean that? It doesn't mean that. Ubar yerachimo adra. If you say ubar yerachimo, then as long as the ubar is inside, then it's part of the mother. And then when it comes out, then it's no longer part of the mother. Obviously, when it comes out, it's no longer part of the mother. So I would assume that when the Maggid Mishnah uses the expression ubar yerachimo, he means in a very, very literal sense. L'chor, what he means is something else. L'chor, what he means is something along the lines of bra kar adavua, that a son, a child, what's born, is an extension of the parent. L'chor, that's what he means. I.e., that when the cow is born, the calf is an extension of the mother, and it's not considered to be something totally new. That's what we assume the Maggid Mishnah does mean. Okay.
Rabbi?
Yes, Rabbi.
Rabbi?
Yeah, please.
How are you understanding the Rambam in Hilchos Gzela that it says that that if it's a shinoi, then you will pay for the shinoi? Doesn't that shinoi refer to the vlad?
Right, but the Rambam points out that that's the Takana Drabanan. That's the Rambam in. That's why we had the Rambam also there in Hilchos Gzela to see that that's a din Drabana. That because the Rambam acknowledges, the Rambam indicates in the Gnei that it's not a real shinoi. Gzela says even it's not a real shinoi when there's some shevet takes place. Takana Drabanan when there's Yaish, that the guy gets away without having to pay the shevet.
Isn't the fact that the Rambam calls it shinoi a problem? Because it's even though it could still be a laha and also a shinoi. It could come about on its own and also be a shinoi. Those two things don't.
Look, I need to look at it again to look at it more later. But as I said, the Rambam in Geneva does seem to indicate that it's not considered to be a major shinoi, if I'm not mistaken. And what I want from Gzela is the fact that with respect to and when there's years, then sometimes Chazal or Mekel and exempt the fellow from having to give back the. Okay. I just want to point out that I think there might be a different, somewhat of a slightly different approach to the Rambam. Let's keep in mind, we had the problem with the Rambam that is against the Gemara. you had the problem with the Rambam, the steer within the Rambam. So within the steer within the Rambam, that hey, the Rambam says that we have an unripe fruit, or when you have an undeveloped fruit that becomes into developed fruit, the Bukhar doesn't get Pishnayim, and Ubar one does get Pishnayim, then certainly at this point, I don't think that there's any way out of working with that which the Maggid Mishnah suggests, that that a pregnant cow is basically a cow within a cow. We view the Ubar as being somewhat of an independent entity even beforehand, and thus when that cow comes out, it's not significant shinoi. Mashenkin, undeveloped fruit and a developed fruit are two totally different things. That's what the Rambam will have to say. I think everybody will have to agree with him to that. Just with respect to how the Rambam could paskin this din of the that the Bechor gets Pishnayim in the blood, when the Gemara says that this din is true only according to Rebbe, with respect to that issue, I just want to raise a different possibility. Due to time constraints, maybe we'll just discuss it briefly, but I just want to raise a different possibility, and that is the following. The Gemara says that this Bryce goes according to Rebbe. The Rambam will not deny that. But the Rambam does deny it. So if you go back to the Rambam, maybe we have it on the same page. We have it on this page. We have the Rambam here, the Rambam in Nachlos Gimel Beis. Thank you. So the Rambam here says, that's great. So hey, what's interesting in the Rambam, Rabbos, about the Rambam's Lashon? If you compare the Lashon of the Rambam, Lashon of the Gemara, what difference is there between Lashon of the Rambam and Lashon of the Gemara? In terms of the subject of the discussion of before getting Pishnayim. The Rambam says, Ba uvivlada. Ba uvivlada Pishnayim. In the Gemara, you don't have this lashon. So what I wanted to suggest is the following. The Gemara that says that the Brisa goes according to Rebbe, that's due to the fact that the Brisa states as a blanket rule that muchkars and muskars the Bechor gets Pishnayim, implying that the Bechor gets Pishnayim also in the rent money. The rent money that the Rambam, that the Gemara says is only true according to Rebbe. That the Rambam would say the Bechor does not get Pishnayim. The Rambam doesn't say a word about the rent money. The Lechem Mishnah does claim that the Rambam holds also the rent money, the Bechor would get Pishnayim, but others question whether that's the case. The Lashon of the Rambam is Ba uvivlada. What's Ba uvivlada referring to? Ba, the animal itself, and in the Vlad. And presumably this goes on, Ba uvivlada is referring to not only Lo Ba'afa, presumably it's also referring to Mucheres and Muskeres. After all, with respect to the Roba Apar, there's no need to mention Ba. So the Rambam says Ba Vlada, presume that goes also Mucheres and Muskeres. Rambam telling us that a cow that's rented out, a cow that's hired out, a cow that's out to pasture, in all of these cases, the Bechor will get Pishnayim Ba Vlada. So one could suggest that which the Gemara says that the Bryce is going to Rebbe, that's due to the fact that the Bryce implies that Bechor gets Pishnayim in everything, in the kitchen sink, even in the rent money. And the Rambam will agree to that. That's all according to Rebbe. The Rambam therefore emphasized that he's talking about only ba rivlada, not the rent money. And thus, the Rambam is not against the Gemara. So we asked, hey, doesn't the Gemara say it's only true according to Rebbe? And so the Rambam agrees it's only true according to Rebbe. It's only according to Rebbe, and then the Mechal will get Pishnaim of the rent money. Of course, according to this approach, you don't need to suggest that the phrase Shevach Shivchun Chas Amachim Siavim will mean one thing in the Brisa and Amud Beis, something else in the Brisa and Amud Av. Let's take a look at the Tosefta in the back of our Gemaras. I did not take a picture of this. I relied on the fact that you have in the back of the Gemaras. Brisa and the Tosefta Zayin Beis. So a number of interesting things there. There the Brisa, the Tosefta indicates. Let's begin the Tosefta at the beginning of Halacha Beis. Rabbi Omer Nish Mechonot Misham Shav Shalachem Yisaveh. Shav Shalosh Beach Shalahen. Keisa Haisla Behem Muchkaras Muskaras Eitzal Acher. So the Brisa, after it tells us Machlokas Rebbe and Chachamim, tells us that Muchkaras Muskaras the Muchar gets P Shnayim. So it's clear that Muchkaras Muskaras is only according to that the din of Muchkaras Muskaras is only according to whom?
Rabbi.
After stating Machlokas Rebbe and Chachamim, says the din that Muchar gets Pishnaim Muchkaras Muskaras. It gives this as an example of Shav Shem Chachamim Yisavim. So you see that only according to Rebbe does Muchar get Pishnaim in Muchkaras Muskaras, and not according to Chachamim. So hey, is this against the Rambam? Well, not the way we explain the Rambam. If you explain that the Rambam will agree that Muchkaras Muskaras is only true according to Rebbe with respect to the rent money, and the Rambam is not talking about the rent money, then this is great. I.e., the Rambam will agree that Muchkaras Muskaras concerning rent money is only true according to Rebbe. But according to the approach that was suggested in the Magen Mishnah, I think the Tosefta might be more problematic in that it's explicit in the Tosefta that Muchkaras and Muskaras is only true according to Rebbe, not according to Chachamim.
Rabbi?
Yes.
How does we read the continuation of the Tosefta? Because when after it says the Muchkaras and Muskaras, it says Rabbi Omer, which implies before it is Rabbanan. Then
I don't know if necessarily implies that. I thought you were going to ask another question. But since you didn't ask that question, I want to point out that there's, I'll just point out, won't go into this more due to time considerations, just point out that if you take a look at the Brisa, at the Tosefta, you'll see that there might be some differences in Girsa there in the Tosefta that seem to be against our Gemara. That Tosefta, any way you slice, is going to be somewhat problematic. The word Vyolda doesn't appear there in Tosefta, so I'm just pointing out that that Tosefta, it's true, might be somewhat problematic with the approach of suggesting the Magen Mishnah, but might also have some problems any way you slice. Okay, those interested will try me tomorrow, either sometime later, or try me tomorrow during Seder time. And Bezrat Hashem, hopefully we'll have a chance to discuss that if you're interested in doing so. Okay, now we're also moving on to something totally different. There's a Ramah that was Xeroxed again today, on hopefully a bit more readable fashion, that discusses the following issue. An object that was stolen from the father such an object considered to be mukhzak or ro'oi? The question issue being, let's say the father had a car and somebody stole the car. And the father died without having that car returned. But the police do return the car after the death of the father. Will the Bukhar get Pishaim in that car? Or should we say that that's called rolling? The Ramah indicates, though there's some other Ramah that might seem to contradict it, but the Ramah in the end of Reish and Ches indicates that the Bukhar will get Pishaim. Now, the Gra feels this is difficult. By way of introduction to that Gra, let's just keep in mind a number of points. A, let's keep in mind the statement of Rabbi Yochanan, which we already discussed a number of days ago, that Rabbi Yochanan tells us that if there's an object that was stolen from me, although it's still mine, unless there's some Shinoi, Yaish, Shinoi, whatever, if an object that's stolen from me is still mine, but in light of the fact that it's no longer in my control, what's called Rishusi, therefore I can't be Makdish it, and neither can the Gana be Makdish it. I can't sell it, and neither can the Gana sell it. Lashon Rabbi Yochanan, Gezel, in a situation of Gezel, the Lonis Yashu Baalim, and the Baalim were not Misyash, Zeh v'zeh eni mechol lahakdish. Neither one could be Makdish. Zeh lefi shenu shalom, zeh lefi shenu b'shusi. The Gaslam can't be Makdish because it's not his. Nigzal can't be Makdish because it's not b'shusi. Okay? Let's also keep in mind that we mentioned that there's a machlokas between the marshal and the ktos. We don't listen like the ktos with respect to an object that was rented out to somebody. If there's a pikadon, if I deposited my book with somebody else, then that book is still fully considered my rishus, and certainly I could be makdish it, I could sell it, I could be mafkir it. But in a situation where an object was rented out, over here, the marshal says it is not b'rshusi. I cannot be makdish it. I cannot sell it. And the ktos, and the way we normally assume, is that one can be makdish it. One can sell it. It's still considered to be b'rshusi. Okay. Now let's get back to our Gemara, and we'll see. This is by way of introduction to the Ramah. Let's take a look at the Gemara on Kuf Chav Gimel Amid Beis. The Gemara was discussing that which the Brisa gives two examples of Shevach Shiv Nuchav Nach Misaviem, and says the Gemara, Hashta Muchkares, 3 lines down from the end of Kuf Chav Gimel Beis. Hashta Muchkares Muskeres Labrishus and Demar Didu Kaima Amit Shakel. Once the Brisa tells us, in the case of Muchkaras and Muskeras, that's not in the rishut of the master, of the owner, of the father. The Bukhar gets Bishnayim, the Roa Ba'afar is necessary to tell me this, meaning Muchkaras and Muskeras is not considered to be in the rishut of the father, and Roa Ba'afar is. So once you tell me Muchkaras and Muskeras, the Bukhar gets Bishnayim, Kol Shkein, I'll know the Bukhar will get Bishnayim in Roa Ba'afar. So in any case, what's important for us now is that the Brisa, that the Gemara indicates, Muchkaras Muskaras is not in the rishus of the father. Okay, that's something which, does it really mean that? Muchkaras Muskaras is not in the rishus of the father. Does it really mean that? So we pointed out that according to the Marshal, perhaps it really does mean that. According to the Marshal, in fact, an animal that is hired out, that's rented out, is not in the rishus of the father. However, according to the Ktos, what does the Gemara mean when it says that Muchkaras and Muskeras is la b'rishusa? So we'll have to assume that what it means, in a very loose sense, is not in the rishus. What the Gemara does mean is that after all, if I rent an animal, I rent out my cow, my car to you, So you are the one that legally is allowed to benefit from it. I'm not able to benefit from it. I don't have the right to demand back that cow until the end of the rental period. So in a certain sense, it's not reshus. I can be makdish it. I can be makna it to somebody else. It's la reshusi in the sense that it's not in my full control at this point. Okay, so we just pointed out that the Marshal and Miktos will read the Gemara in a slightly different fashion. The Marshal will understand the Gemara in very literal fashion, that it's not Rishusi, and the Miktos will have to understand the Gemara in somewhat of a liberal fashion. The Gemara just means to say it's not fully in my control. Not that I can't sell it. I can sell a rented out cow. I can be matched a rented out cow. Just currently, it's not in my control in the sense that somebody else has the legal ability to use it. Okay, now going to the, now let's take a look at the Gra. So it says the Gra, whoops, along the source. The end of Reish Ayin Ches. Can Yisrael, or can you give me the end of Reish Ayin Ches that was on today's sheet? I'm sorry, that's it. Bob, there's another one that while we're accessing that, we'll just point out that on today's sheet, so I just xerox from the Shulchan Aruch that he paskins that like the Rambam before gets Bishnaim also on the blood, and the Rambam writes that Yaish Cholkin, those that argue that. Okay, but in any case, so. The Gra. Sorry, again, if somebody finds it, so tell me, and then I'll give you the screen, or you'll take the screen. This is, I think there we are. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Is this my screen? Your screen. Okay, thank you. So says Rambam. Ocean nigzal lo karka she'en nigzal so filu nignavu lo svarim. This is the important part. Filu nignavu lo svarim she'mistam and miyashem mikri mochs. Rambam says Rama, soul and svarim are considered to be mochs. Says the gra over there. Says the gra. You just enlarge in the gra a little bit. Thank you, great. That's good enough. Says the gra. Avog zela b'chagav neshechazer be'ena v'tzorchian. Dakaimulan gazav lo nesiya shobayim shtem yichol mahaktish zeh b'chuleis. The gra first asks me svara that hey, stolen object you can't be maktish. Stolen object can't be maktish. I'm not sure I fully understand the Gra's question. Why is the Gra so convinced that just because it's Eir B'Shuso, that means that it's not called Muhsan? One might have said that's true, it's Eno B'Shusa, but it's still Shalo, and thus it is called Machzik. So not clear to me that first question. But asks the Radim Kane, my Kamashmlan, Kufchav Kim Beis Yinech the Gemara Sham Lo Mitama Ala Seifa, Mashmal Reisha Itzrach Leguf. The Gemara asks the following question, which needs to be understood. The Gemara says, hey, if the Ramah is right, that a stolen object is considered to be Bershuso, it's considered to be Muchzak, the father is considered to be Muchzak, it's not Ro'oi. So if even a stolen object is Muchzak and not Roy, what's the Gemara's Chiddush about a rented object? The Gemara sounds like there's somewhat of a Chiddush, and the Gemara understands that a rented object is considered to be Muchzak and not Roy. Says the Gemara, what's the Chiddush that a rented object is considered to be Muchzak and not Roy? After all, there are Ramaz of the opinion that even a stolen object is considered to be Muchzak and not Roy. That's the Gemara's question. Now that question needs to be understood, because after all, there might seem to be a very, very simple answer to that question. That is, hey, true, the Gemara says that's a chidush, that a rented object is muchzak not ro'oi, but nevertheless, you can't ask, hey, what's the chidush? Ramah tells us that even a stolen object is muchzak not ro'oi. That's not such a good question, because one could simply answer that which Ramah writes, that a stolen object is muchzak and not ro'oi, is only something which comes after the Gemara tells us that a rented object is muchzak and not ro'oi. The Gemara asked, hey, if in fact a stolen object Ramah claims is muchzak, what's the chiddush of the Gemara? That a rented object is muchzak. That seems like a very strange question the Gemara is raising. After all, if I'm not mistaken, which came first, the Gemara or the Ramah? Anybody vote? Who came first, the Gemara or the Ramah? I think the Gemara preceded the Ramah a little bit, right? So maybe that which the Ramah writes, that a stolen object is considered to be muchzak, that's only once the Gemara is mechadesh, that a rented object is muchzak, Mela the Ramah knew that also a stolen object is a muchzak. So what's the Gra giving the Ramah a hard time that, hey, according to you, the Ramah, what's the chiddush? After all, if the stolen object is muchzak, a rented object is muchzak. What's the Gra's problem with the Ramah?
How would the Ramah know a bigger chiddush?
I'm sorry?
How would the Ramah know a bigger?
So let's phrase it in the following fashion. So I would assume that the Gra understood like the Ksos, the Gra would assume like the Ksos, that a rented object is considered to be al pi halacha b'reshutah. And if a rented object al pi halacha is b'reshutah, then if although the Gemara does tell us that a rented object is muchzak, this certainly cannot serve as a source that even a stolen object is muchzak. So if you learn, like the Ksos, you learn that a rented object is considered to be in one's rishus in the sense that one is able to sell it. One is able to be makdish. Now, the Gemara says it's in a rishus, it just means that he doesn't now have full control. Just means that he doesn't have the use of the object. But api halacha, it's still b'rshuso. So then, certainly, even though the Gemara is mechadish that a rented object is muchzak, you wouldn't be able to learn from here that a stolen object is muhsak. Thus, you would not be able to say that the source of the Ramah is our Gemara. So Al-Kach, the Ramah had some other source. Kach, there's some other Talmudic source that indicates, you're going to have to say, if you learn like the Ramah, must be some other Talmudic source that a stolen object is muhsak. Oh, there's some other source? That's the case, that there's some other source that a stolen object is muhsak, then there ain't no chiddush that please help me. If the Ramah had some other source that a stolen object is muhsak, not roy, then there ain't no chiddush that a rented object is muhsak and not roy. So the Gra's question is assuming like this goes. If you learn like the Marshal, then l'chora, the Gra's question is weaker. Because if you learn like the Marshal, then one could suggest that the Ramah learned his chiddush from our Gemara. After all, according to the Marshal, a stolen object is eino b'rshusa. So once the Gemara says, according to the Marshal, a rented object is not b'rshusa. So the Gemara tells us that a rented object is muhsak and not roy, then perhaps Ramah could learn from here that a stolen object is muhsak and not roy. So you can't attack the Ramah and say, hey, what's the chiddush of our Gemara? After all, stolen object is muhsak, koshken a rented object. The Ramah would tell you that it is from here that I learned this halacha. So from here that I learned that this chiddush that a rented stolen object is muhsak and not roy, because after all, stolen object is somewhat similar to a rented object. Both are eino b'rshusa. Okay. Let me just point out, to close this discussion, let me just point out that this Ramah seems to be at odds with a Rambam that we learned. Which Rambam? Rambam in Nachlos Gimel Aleph, with respect to a what?
Ship.
A ship. With respect to the Sfina, Rambam said that a Sfina at sea is considered to be is considered to be roy, not muhsak. So, hey, if a ship that's at sea, which wasn't stolen, which isn't that pikadon, if that's considered to be roy, not muhsak, so certainly, now if that's stolen, we would guess is considered to be roy, not muhsak. And thus, that Ramah would seem to be at odds with the Rambam. That Rambam, by the way, the Ravid seems to be comfortable with. He says the Rambam learned from a certain Sugya and Erechin. If you take a look at that Sugya and Erechin, you'll see that Sugya and Erechin does not seem to be a good source for the Rambam. If we come up with anything brilliant in terms of a source for that Rambam, then I'll get back to you. That Sugya and Erechin was xeroxed on Wednesday. If you take a look at that Sugya, you'll see that that Sugya does not seem to be a very solid source for that Rambam. Okay. Let us introduce Tosus on Kufchav Gimel Amid Beis. Tosus Haisela Para Muchkaras Umuskeras. Tosus asks a certain question from Daf Yud Gimel Amud Aleph. Let us just read the beginning of the Tosus. Haisa Muchkaras Umuskeras Biadachem B'chornot Al Pishnai. The Kaman Muki La Kerevi. The Rabbanan Ein B'chornot Al Pishnai. B'shevach Sheshiv Kunchasam La'acham Misas Avihem. Okay. So Tos points out, this brisa is according to Rebbe, not according to Rabbanan. Not like the Rambam, at least the way the Mishlam, the Rambam. Afagav the Bechor Pasha, then tells us that's the question. Afagav the Bechor Pasha, Shniach Ne'mabim. Eved Obeim et Meh over the Zeyomech al-Zeshne Yamim. I assume the guys that have the Oz V'Hadar probably refers you to the Gemara Daf Yud Gimel Amud Aleph. Hachanami Am Amar Bechor O Techalku O Etol B'Shnayim B'Sheva Choshuz B'Yado. So Tosfos was there, of course, asking in effect a certain question and then giving an answer. Hachanami is the answer. So it's not clear what Tosfos' question is. It's not clear what the answer is. So let's take it step by step. First, let's point out there's a Gemara in Daf Kuf Chav Vav Amud Aleph that I would guess the Oz V'Hadar probably refers you to. That has the following idea. Let's say there's a father that leaves, a father that dies and has a vine, a grapevine. And the grapes aren't fully ripened. And the kids, when the vine ripens, they harvest the grapes. Will the Bechor get Pishnayim? According to Rebbe, yes. According to Chachamim, no. But let's say the second the father dies, the Bechor says, hey, I want my share. He demands a chalukah. He demands that they split it up. He asks for his share. He says that he wants Pishnayim. In such a case, in such a situation, demanded his share. From there on, he is entitled to Pishnayim in the Sheva. That's the lashon of the Gemara on Kaf Chav Vav. Bechor shemicha micha. Bechor that was moche, that protested, that asked for his share. He is entitled to Pishnayim from then on. What's the nature of that halacha? We will see. The Ashbam over there says that this is based on the fact that the Bechor from the moment he asks for his share in the Yerusha, from that moment on, he's entitled to his share. He gets his share. And Memela, when there's an increase in value, that's his increase in value. You might see the according to Tosfos is a different explanation. For us, you don't even need to know the rationale behind that Gemara. What we do need to know is that the Gemara does indicate that when the Bechor does demand, once he protests, once he asks for his share, then in fact, he's entitled to get Pishnayim on any Sheva that takes place from then on. And that which our Gemara indicates the Bechor does not get Pishnayim according to Chachamim, that's only if he didn't demand his share immediately upon the death of the father. Once he demands his share, or at any point in time, when he demands his share, even before the actual chalukah is done, then from then on, he's entitled to Pishnayim. Okay. That's one piece of information we need to know. Another piece of information we need to know is the following. The Gemara in Daf Yud Gimel discusses the concept of good or agud. You guys learned about this in B'kiyos, and that is the following. Normally, if we are shutfim, then if we're shutfim in 100 cows and $100 and 100 goats, then halachas in a large field, and either shutaf could demand a breakup of the shutfs. Let's say though we're shutfim in a car, or two brothers are yours car. So do we say that either shutaf could demand out, could say, well, hey, either you buy it from me or I'll buy it from you, but I don't want to remain a shutaf. We say, no, one cannot demand it. Can't force his way out. If the other shutaf wants to remain a shutaf, then remain shutaf. So the other Gemara asks, that's a machlokas when we say good or agud. Good means different interpretations. Some say to draw, to pull. Can one ship tell the other ship that either you draw it to you, you buy it, or agud, or I'll buy it from you. A very famous sugya on Daf Yud Gimel. So then the Gemara asks the question. One Amora Rava asks Rav Nachman, according to you, that don't hold of good or agud, Rav Nachman, you that don't agree to good or agud, then what's going to happen when you have two brothers that inherit an eved, behemoth, tamea? What are they going to do? Gemara answers, well, I'll work for this brother one day, work for the other brother another day. Okay, that's sort of what the Gemara asks. But doesn't ask precisely that. Rather, what does the Gemara ask? What the Gemara asks, if you have a Bechor and a Pashut that inherit a Bechor, if you have a Bechor and a Pashut that inherit the Eved or Behemoth Tameh, what are they going to do? Which the Gemara answers, well, hey, I'll work for this one one day, work for this one 2 days. Okay. Shani Omer over Lezeh Yomecha Lezeh Shnei Yamim. What exactly is that question and answer all about? That we will see. But the bottom line is that the Gemara does indicate that when you have a Bechor and Pashut that inherit Behema Tmeya and Eved, then the Bechor will work for the Pashut 1/3 of the time, and the Bechor 2/3 of the time. So Tosa says that Gemara is problematic. Why is that Gemara problematic? What's the problem with that Gemara? Well, Tosa seems to be making the following assumption. Tosa seems to be assuming that just like our Gemara says that according to Rabbanan, the rent money from after the father's death is something that according to Rabbanan, the Bechor doesn't get Bishnayim. So similarly, the work that's done by the animal after the father's death, the work that's done by the animal after the death of the father is considered to be Sheva Sheshivchu Nechasim La'acham Misaviyah. After all, that work didn't exist at the time of the father's death. The work that the Behemoth Tameh does, that the Eved does after the death of the father, that also views as Sheva Sheshivchu Nechasim La'acham Misaviyah. And thus, according to Chachamim, the Bechor should not get Pishnayim. So Tosas says, at first glance, he indicates that at first glance, the Gemara on Yud Gimel that says, Bein l'Rebbe, Bein l'Chachamim, presumably, the Bechor will get Pishnayim of the work done by that Eved, by the Behemoth Tmeya, would seem to contradict our Gemara that says that according to Chachamim, the Bechor does not get Pishnayim of the rent money. After all, the rent money and the work, they're both forms of Sheva that come about after the death of the father. So according to Chachamim, the Bechor doesn't get Pishnayim of this, shouldn't get Pishnayim of that. That's Tosas' question. His answer seems to be that, hey, over there, that which the Bechor does get Pishnayim is due to the fact that over there we're talking about a case where the Bechor is demanding his share. On the death of the father, the Bechor, in effect, demanded his share. And when the Bechor demands his share from then on, the Bechor does get Pishnayim. And even in our Gemara, if upon the death of the father, the Bechor would have said that, hey, I want my share, I want a chalukah, then perhaps the Bechor would get Pishnayim. So in principle, Tosas in his answer stays with his equation between the rent money that's accrued after the father's death on one hand, and the work done by the animal, by the Eben Behemoth Tameh after the death of the father. Just he says that in our sugya, the Bechor did not demand the Sheva immediately upon the death of the father, And there he did. Okay, Bezrat Shem Bineder will focus on this more tomorrow. There's lots of lumdus in this Tosus, related discussion. Okay, Rabosa. So looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow. As I said, tomorrow, a bit of the time we'll be spending on Lag BaOmer on Yom Shlishi, probably a topic, a halachic topic related to Lag BaOmer, so related to Lag BaOmer. Karabosa. Have a wonderful day.